Welcome to Xtra presented by VDG Sports. I am your host, Vince Douglas Gregory. No filter. Very sincere. You can follow Xtra on Twitter at Xtra VDG. Be sure to follow Xtra on Twitter at Xtra VDG. Check out the website as well. That is xtra.vdgsports.com. That is xtra.vdgsports.com. There's a YouTube as well. VDG Sports. Everything is there. So like, subscribe, and share, comment too, because everything is there. Everything. I mean, everything. This episode is not, I repeat, not being sponsored by VinceDouglasGregory.com. VinceDouglasGregory.com is where you can keep up with me. Me. All things Vince. Everything Vince. What I'm doing, what I'm not doing, what I'm thinking, what I'm not thinking, what I'm planning, what I'm plotting. Everything. All things Vince. Noobs, thank you. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank you for giving me a chance. If you made it this far, thanks. And even if you didn't, I just appreciate the time. Regs, we back at it again. We do what we do. This almost like every day, but it's not every day. It's not. We just got this unique, special bond that we share. We have this unique, special bond that we share. It's cool. Come up with a word for it, please, though. Somebody, eventually. I don't know. What pushed me over the edge to go ahead and to start doing this. What I'm doing. I don't know, and it's a big, huge risk. And I've taken this same risk before in the past. I really haven't been hurt too bad or burnt too bad from it. There's been occasions where there was a mishaps. There's been occasions where things just went sideways. You pick, you choose. I'm just the narrator. You can sideways left or sideways right. I'm just the narrator. But there's been a few times where things went sideways and just not good. There's a few occasions where luck was involved. And there was definitely a few occasions where I just don't know why I did what I did. But this risk is definitely a calculated risk. And it's definitely a risk that possibly could come bad. I'm knowledgeable of that. I know the ramifications that's going to come along if the risk does not pan out, I should say, if it doesn't pan out. And it's not as if I haven't done this before. I have on a few occasions, but then after doing it for so long or after escaping a mishaps, I kind of just went back to the old tried and true method. And it's like, nah, I can't take this risk. But as the time has went by and as technology has increased and as promises has been made and what have you, I think I am ready to take this risk again. Although I ain't going all the way in. This is like a halfway kind of risk. A halfway kind of risk. It's not an all out risk. Because I still do assess the pros and cons. And there's one particular thing that I'm not ready to go all in on. And this is just probably me still being a little paranoid about me still being a little iffy about me needing to go and read up on some more data, go and read up on some more research, go and just read up on some personal accounts. And that's people personal experience, by the way, people's personal experience. And I'm gonna have to go and do all of that. And then maybe, just maybe, I'll get to that place. And then maybe, just maybe, I'll get to that space and I'm okay with it and I'm fine with it and I won't think twice and I'll just go and live my life. But for me to get to this stage and for me to get to this point, I've already been through a lot of those steps. I've already been through some of those stages. And it got me to where I'm at now, where I'm comfortable enough to know that it can go sideways, but that's okay. I'm comfortable enough to know it can go sideways, but that's okay. And it's not. And it's not me just taking a risk to take a risk. There is some method behind the madness. Yeah, there's some thoughts that went into it as well. And I just got to the place again, personal growth. I've got to the place again, personal growth, where I'm just going to go ahead and go. I'm just going to go ahead and go for it. And no, I'm not saying let the chips fall where they may, because I definitely don't want the chips to fall in one particular space. No, 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 no. I'm saying that although I'm taking this risk, I'm going to be careful enough and I'm not going to do anything to put me in a bad position where taking the risk will end in misfortune or taking the risk will end how it could end. And not good, not good, because there's many multiple different outcomes and I can only control what I can control. But within my controls and within the things that I can control, I'm just going to have to eliminate some of the things that I would normally do and some of the things that I would just normally put on autopilot and not think about and not be concerned about, because it will create an issue. So I can just go ahead and cut that out. I can just go ahead and limit that, or I can just go ahead and do something to navigate around that. Navigate around that. And it's basically, I'm taking the risk. I'm taking the risk of go ahead and not putting a case on my cell phone. And if you know, or if you've heard some of the historical documents where I've talked about this, or if I've already somewhat been down this path quite a few times, very, very troubling, some interesting, others, and mortifying for maybe one. Yeah, one for the final answer, one. But now I'm back in this place. Now I'm back in this place where I want to not be worried and concerned about not having a case on my cell phone. And it's because I'm careful to begin with, but I'm not going to be walking on eggshells or be bubble wrap or bubble boy or anything to that nature where it's going to always be a worry, or it's going to cause me grief, or it's going to alter who I am just to be able to prove a point and say that I'm doing this because I'm past that. I'm saying I'm in a different place now. I'm in a different stage where I understand the repercussions. I understand what can happen. It's just that this phone is technically made for everyday use. It's made for everyday use and normal operation or normal occurrences. And normal can be just about anything a person does with a phone other than some wild and woo, 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 crazy things. And I'm not that person anyway. I'm not that person anyway. I'm taking the phone maker I'm taking the phone company, I'm taking the phone itself, and I'm going to listen to what they're saying. Normal usage. Okay. Now all of my concerns are just out the window. I'm at a different level now after trying this out so many times in the past. I'm at a different level now where I'm okay. I'm all right. My normal usage and how I normally use it doesn't really put the phone itself in danger because I don't do certain things. And I am pretty much glued to the phone anyway. And I don't have it in a bag and I don't have it in different places where it can just like bounce around and what have you. And even if that was the case, it should be able to hold up for that, right? Correct. But that's not my case. That is not my case. And one of the main reasons why I'm going back to this, other than the phone is particularly built for that, I never really liked cases to begin with because it made absolutely no sense to me when I started thinking it out logically. It's like phones are made, and why do we have to put a case on a phone when the phone's supposed to be durable enough for normal operation to begin with? And putting a case on it, all it does is make the phone heavier. And if you're buying the phone for aesthetic view or aesthetic pleasure, you're taking that away too. Sure, some cases can look nice. Sure, some cases can look pretty. Sure, some cases can look out of this world, but it's not the phone. And if you bought the phone because it's pretty, which a lot of people do, I know my hand is up in the air right now. I bought a phone because it looks good. It looks nice. I choose a color because it looks good and it looks nice. But then I go and I slap a case on it and I don't see the phone ever. I don't see the color ever. And you can have the phone year upon year upon year upon year. And it's always in the case. And then when it's time to upgrade, trade in, get a new, you never really fully experience the phone. Never really fully experience your phone because it's always been in a case for protection. And maybe just once, twice, or three times in those 3 to 4 years, you actually were proud and happy that you had it in the case. But those other times, you were just miserable. Them other times, you were just thinking to yourself, was like, man, I wish. Them other times, you're just thinking, it's like, why is this phone so heavy? Them other times, you're just thinking, it's like, I don't even remember what color my phone is anymore. Let me just check. There's other times where you just don't even take it out of its case for years or months, and then it just gets dirty inside and it just gets unclean. And you at the point now, it's like, well, it's been there that long. What another year or two is going to hurt? I'm basically taking an in-depth look and looking into that because I've already had questions to begin with. When you purchase something, why do you wrap it in bubble wrap or why do you cover it up? Period. And I never really understood that with phones, even though there was occasions I was happy that I did have it in a case because it prevented it from breaking. And there's other times where I was questioning everything about it, which was most of the time, Now I've reached that personal growth part of life where I'm just going to appreciate the phone for being a phone, appreciate the phone for being a device that I use a lot and definitely communication with. And it's look good. And I did buy it and get it for its looks. And I'm not going to do what I've done in the past with other phones and never really look at it and never really appreciate how it was made and how it feels in the hand. Not anymore. Not anymore. I am in the space, I am in the place, I'm in the time, I'm in the mind, set, and frame that I'm going to appreciate this phone. I'm going to appreciate this phone for what it is. I'm going to hold this phone in my hand and it's so light and it feels good to hold. It's like the perfect grip almost, and I can just enjoy and I can just look at it and smile and be like, yeah, I like you too. Yeah, that's so nice. But there's one thing that, there's one risk that I'm not willing to take. There's one risk that I just can't take, even though, even though, angelic, bird like voice, even though the company and a few peeps and people talk about that there's also another thing that's full of protection and what have you. I'm not at that stage in my personal growth level just yet to take this risk where I don't have a screen protector on. I'm still rocking with the screen protector just because I put the phone in my pocket and there are things that can cut the screen or nick the screen or do all kinds of things to the screen that's in my pocket. And I'm just not ready to take that risk. I'm just not ready to take that chance. Even though, even though there's suggestions and tests and all kinds of data and research out there saying that it's okay. Even there are protocols now. If you do crack and break the screen, you can easily get it replaced and it's replaceable, blah, 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 blah. My level of risk taking isn't at 1,000. My level of risk taking is about at 65. My level of risk taking is around 65. I'm gonna rock without a case. I'm gonna enjoy holding, touching, caressing the phone in my hand, but I ain't ready to go faceless. I ain't ready to go faceless and not without a screen protector. And my screen protectors and the ones that I use are glass. And there are many occasions where that thing saved me umpteen number of times that I can count, not on my fingers, hands, and toes, but I can count with a calculator because that's how many times that I'm gonna have to, or that's how many digits and numbers I'm about to put in, and then hit the equal signs to get a final count, to get a final number. I just can't count that high, even if I tried. Even if I try. And that's why the glass screen protector still gonna stay on there, but it's still light enough. It's still unnoticeable enough to I can just still appreciate my phone for what it is. And I can enjoy it for what it is. It's a device that I use to communicate with and to look cool to myself with. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I ain't got a mirror. Screen protector can serve as a mirror. And you know what you do in front of the mirror. You know what you do in the front of the mirror.